Welcome back to the Even If podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Kenzie.
And today we are talking about the new year. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. If I look at you, I feel like I'm going to snort or something weird. So I just can't. Starting this hard.
Okay.
New Year. Happy New Year.
2026. When this episode comes out, it will be almost the new year.
Yeah.
The week of the new year of 2026.
How do you feel about 2026? Are you excited?
I'm stoked, but this is me every year. Every year I'm like, this
until
is
about February. And then we're like, womp womp.
Not my year. But this time every year I'm like,
it's your year.
It's my year.
Yeah. I really think it's going to be your year.
I want this shirt. I told you about it the other day, but I have to tell our listeners, if anybody wants to buy me the shirt, it's hilarious. If
anybody wants to buy me this shirt, I will buy you this shirt.
Nobody buy it. You can make it at Hobby Lobby. Just get a white t-shirt, and at the top it says 2015 is my year, and then there's a red line through it, and then under it says 2016 is my year, and it crosses it out, and it goes all the way down to 2025.
That's
and
hilarious.
I'm like, that's so relatable.
That's so
Every
relatable.
year I'm like, this is my year.
It's so relatable.
But what does that mean?
Like, is it my year? Yeah,
like,
for
what does
us,
it mean for
us,
like, it's my year.
I think
like, what did that man mean when he had it?
It
was a picture of a man in an elevator wearing a shirt that said that, and I'm like, what was he hoping for that year?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question. Maybe he wanted marriage. Maybe he wanted a car. Maybe he wanted a good job. I don't know, but
True.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. If we say 2026 is your year, what does that mean?
It's my year.
What does that mean?
Well,
for it to be your year.
Car.
Okay, so you do need to get a new car.
I gotta get married.
Yeah.
That's on the list.
That's on the list. I gotta get married.
I think if I stay one more year at the job I'm at, that will be a record for me. I've never lasted more than 2 years at a job.
Really?
Don't tell my employers. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I've never lasted more than 2 years at a job. So
you just get
that
bored
will
and
be cool.
Want something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
If I make it till August, that will be my
You love your
start
job.
of 3 years. Yeah,
You're
I love
gonna
my job.
totally make it till August. Unless you get married.
So there's that. It'll be my year if I think that's it.
So if you stay at your current job, so
If
if you can stay employed until August,
Yep.
you get a new car,
Mm-hmm.
and if you get married.
That's dumb. I
Do
don't
you
actually
think-
mean this.
No, I know. We're just
yapping.
literally being so stupid. But maybe not get married, but meet someone
Yeah.
that you actually care about, that you want to date.
I've met people before.
Yeah, you've met people.
No, I know.
People have wanted to date you, but
No. Yeah, I would love to meet my husband, and I actually believe it's going to happen next year.
I believe it's going to happen this year for you.
All right, let's go.
I genuinely do.
I kind of do too.
I really do. I don't know. It makes me like when I say that, like I can feel it in my like I feel it.
Okay.
I really do.
I love that. I hope that's true.
I think it's true.
I think, what if I already know him? That's crazy. But
It's kind of crazy too, especially in Nashville, because the Christian circle is so small.
mm-hmm.
You very well could either already know him or have seen him,
know
or him
of
be like
him.
right under your nose. You have no idea.
I feel like everybody is literally 1 degree
It's
of
true.
separation away.
It's true.
So who knows? But yeah, I think it's been a really sweet time, even as I'm like preparing for New Year. Like I have had the past several months, people just really believing for me. I mean, you know this, but like really believing for me and sending me out of the blue messages, just like believing that it's happening and believing it's coming soon.
Yeah.
And so I started like a little album on my phone of people who've texted me or voice memoed me and screenshotted it and just put it in an album of like evidence. And because that's my word for this whole year has been on a hunt for delight.
Yep.
Like hunting for evidence, hunting for delight in things. And I think part of that is my friends' encouragement and strangers' encouragement and just advice and things as I'm like believing
I love that.
what the Lord is doing in my life. And I don't know.
It's exciting. I love a new year. It doesn't matter even if like the last year was like really difficult. Or if it was really great. I just love, there's something about a calendar. And I don't know if that's like just the performer in me or the Enneagram 3 in me, but like I love the fresh change of a calendar year.
I know, I do too.
It's just like exciting. And I feel like in the past I've always made all these like really massive goals or visions and like done all these things. And I had just unfortunately like a habit of not bringing the Lord into it. And then the last few years, like bringing the Lord into it is just so different and really slowing down and then getting excited about the new year. Cause it's like just a year of possibility. And I don't know what my mentor asked me. She's like, what do you think? Cause you know, my saying for the years, and we've talked about last couple episodes ago, was like, expecting a miracle with uncommon hope. And so when I was like crying in a blanket being like, it didn't happen this year, she was like, well, what makes a year? Like just because the calendar year changes, like why are you, like, you know, like you've put God on this timeline and whatever. And I think it's okay to sometimes like be like, okay, Lord, I'm believing for it this year or whatever. But
that's good.
you know, she definitely was like, well, what difference does it make? Like, it's just because it's just the calendar year changes. And in that specific instance, you know, that's such a good argument. But I do think there's something really fun and exciting about a brand new year.
Yeah.
Because I think it can kind of just like lift your spirits. It's almost like the change of season. So,
yeah.
So I love a new year too. And I used to put so much pressure on how I spent January 1. Like if I spent January 1 hungover, then I was going to have a terrible year or whatever. And just like so ridiculous, like these, you know, unrealistic like expectations of like it's gonna start a really terrible year. But I just love to be able to be like fresh possibilities, fresh opportunities, fresh hope.
Yeah.
Lot can happen in a year and something about the beginning of a year.
But what I love that you even said is like it's good for us and our heart posture, maybe us to have a renewed hope, but like the hope that we have hasn't gone away. Like Jesus has been there from December 31st to January 1st. Like there's nothing that has changed about him or his character. And there's nothing that, like you said, I love what you learned from your life coach of just like, it's not our time. Like it's his timeline, you know? And so who says, oh, it's not this calendar year? Like, who cares? Like, why do people think you have to be married by this age? Why do people have to think you have to have a job by this age or like a career, a job? I guess you got to have a job at some point, but like start a business, I guess, you know, and all these things. It's like, there's not a timeline, but I think that's really good. What you said is just, it's more for us. It's like a renewed hope for us.
Yes. Renewed
which
hope
I think is
us.
Why we have enjoyed Word of the Month often. It's because it's almost like that renewed hope every month.
Every single month.
You
it's
know,
like a reset.
just resetting that. But that is a fun thing about the year.
How do you, were you about to ask me
I was going to ask you something.
Okay.
I was going to say just like, okay, so kind of back to you about when you think about the new year, like what do you feel like as a 3, Enneagram 3, you have things that you're like, I want to achieve this year. I want to do this year. Like I know you know started this year with 75 hard.
That went real well.
There's a podcast on it that you and I are sitting here talking about it. And you're like, I'm going to do 75 hard. And I was like,
good luck.
Your booty you won't.
Yeah,
like,
and I did.
I sure won't. Honestly, well, you got hurt. But
then I loved the excuse of that because I was like, I don't have to do
perfect.
it. Yeah. Okay. So I was thinking about this today because I was just reflecting on the past versions of myself that would go into a new year with all these massive, like, okay, so January 1, I'm going to drink X number of liters of water and I'm going to eat this much and this is how I'm going to train. And I literally love having things to work towards. Like it gives me energy. It gives me something to be excited about and look forward to. And then the last, like, I mean, other than last year, I tried 75 hard and it failed miserably. But this year I'm like, I don't have any desire to do that. Like, I'm not trying to hit January 1 and just all of a sudden be shredded by February 1. Like, that's just not my mindset or my goals anymore. So as a 3, I definitely have certain things. Like I have some financial goals that I would love. I've got like a side project thing I'm working on that I'm hoping to like turn into a business at some point and like share that in the new year. But those are all things I hold so loosely. I think because the older I get, and I think the healthier I've gotten as a 3 is just like, okay, I'm going to try a couple things, but like, what does the Lord want me to do? And making room for him. And one of the ways to prepare for the year is like, I told this in my class actually today. I said, if you don't know where you're starting from, like you have no idea what direction you need to head towards. If you don't make room for the Lord right now and slow down and rest, you're going to be spinning your wheels because you're going to be doing everything in the opposite direction of what he wants for you because you never actually took time to listen to him.
That's so good.
So if you are like
making room for him,
there's Taryn, I think it's Taryn Wells. Is that how I say it? Taryn. He has a song called Make Room. And actually David, my best friend's fiance, sent it to me at the beginning of this year, actually encouraging me about my husband. It was like, we're making room for him. And they don't know that I know this, but him and Kenna have like been praying for me, for him, praying for my future husband. But he sent me that song and I listened to it. And I don't just think about my future husband, but I think about like, what am I constantly trying to make room for so that the Lord can work? And I think it's really important when you go into a new year. And I think it's really important, especially when you are maybe an Enneagram 3 like me, and you're constantly just like, okay, well, here's what I want. Yeah. It's like, well, did you talk to the Lord about this? Because if you want it and he doesn't have it for you, it's a waste of your time.
For sure.
So, and in order for what I've learned, in order for me to know what that is, I have to slow way down in December. And the first year I can say I actually did that well was last year. I haven't ever done that really that well.
Slowing down
in December. I kind of got off Instagram. I took a lot of naps. I did a lot of like art projects. I made a vision board. I read books. Like, and then that's when I heard the Lord speak that phrase over me for this year. And it's like, it's been unbelievable to see how that phrase has showed up and changed my life this year. So I haven't heard anything from him yet about next year, but I also haven't really slowed down intentionally. Like I might sit on the couch and watch a TV show, or I might crawl in bed and read a book, but I'm not like slowing and resting in his presence in the way that I know I need to before January 1. So I've got a couple weeks and I need to make space for that. But
well, by the time this comes out,
I will know.
2 days,
yeah,
so
I hope I am aware by then of like what it is. But even like, I also am like, maybe my phrase for this year will carry over again. Right. Like maybe I will still be believing and expecting a miracle with uncommon hope, or maybe it'll look different. I'm not sure, but I'm so okay with just like not apathetically living my life, but being okay to be just in the present messy middle part.
Yeah.
Because the reality is I don't really have a lot of like, I mean, I always want to keep growing. You and I both do. Like, you know, it's what I love about us and our friendship is like we're constantly trying to grow and evolve into more of who the Lord wants us to become. But I don't know, it's like so freeing when you take the pressure off and just know like it's not up to me. So I think slowing down at the end of this year is so important. And then going into January, I'm just like, okay, like let's see what God does. I have no idea, but he's gonna do stuff.
Yeah, I like that. Making room for him, though.
Yeah. How do you approach like the end of the year, and then how do you like? Do you have structures in place, and then what do you do at the beginning of a year? Like how do you set yourself up?
That's a good question. I think I love the new year, and I love reflecting. I think it's something I am kind of in a good rhythm of just naturally, just daily. And when I journal, I love to, if I am journaling and I have nothing to write, I'll just flip back a few pages and see. And sometimes that's even crazy to look back at like a couple weeks ago or months ago. And I'm like, wow, remember when I was crying over that?
Literally.
Like, that's
seriously
crazy,
preach it.
you know? And so I think it's a really sweet time to be intentional with that. So like today I went through 3 journals this year.
Wow.
I have one I showed you this, right?
I love that.
This is my, I have 3 journals that I went through from 2025. And then I have one journal that's become my scripture journal where I write verses that I'm memorizing. But, which one did we start with? Oh, that's April. Here we go. Okay. January. So my January one, my new year lasted 3 months, January, February, March. And every year for probably 8 or 9 years now, Jacqueline, one of my childhood best friends, she and I go through this sheet. I think we talked about it last year on the pod. The look back and look forward. And it's talking about like songs that stood out, books that you enjoyed, movies, TV, feelings. And it's just really cool to talk about that together. And then when we go over it together when I do it with her, like we usually FaceTime if we're not together, she'll remind me of things that I'll add into it. And so,
wow,
it's fun because she's like, oh, remember you did that though? And I'm like, oh yeah. So I'll write that in. And,
wow.
But yeah, at the bottom it says your hope for 2025. And I wrote marriage and family and it hasn't happened, but you know what? It's okay. It's like one of those things that carries over. And I look back and I'm like, God has done more this year than I could have even imagined. And I'm so grateful. And yes, I still want that, but like my life is so much more than just that.
Totally.
And, so anyways, it's been fun. I love to look back on this, and I can just literally flip open to any page, and January 10th, it's a snow day. God, you're so good. Thank you for your constant love, admiration, pursuit, and delight. Your word says you will not forsake your saints. Here I am. I want to be your saint. You've never left me. Yeah, it's just cool to look back and I'm like, gosh, that's was what I was saying in January, and then flipping to February and reading through it. Anyways, so that's what I like to take time and look through.
Yeah, journals.
All of my journals and kind of just see what the Lord has done, reflect, be thankful. Yeah, that's kind of it. But also, I think we talked about this. We did on a last podcast, because a couple months ago when we were talking about word of the month, we talked about New Year's and how I had that one New Year's where I just painted and spent time really just praying and journaling. And my sweet friend Chandler got us a gift.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Which, shout out to you, Chandler. I love you so much.
Chandler. Thank you.
She got us the sweetest like paint set of just paint and paintbrushes and pictures and things to do. And I think just slowing down and doing that. Like, I can't wait for us to do that.
I can't wait to do that.
Maybe by the time this podcast comes out, we'll be doing it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think just to take time to slow down and just be, whether you are painting or with a friend or just like my friend Jacqueline that I go through this with, it's sweet to talk through it. Or if it's you and I just saying, hey, what were the things we thought were going to happen? What was our phrase of the year? What was our word? What is the things that the Lord is teaching us? What verses did we memorize? Like, and not for a level of success or saying like, did I do enough? But just saying like, where did God surprise me? Where did God show up? What did I learn?
It's so good.
Being able to reflect on that. So yeah, I think I'll take time to look through these journals, paint, prepare my heart for the coming year. Yeah.
Are you a New Year's person?
Love. I'm a holiday person.
Yeah, you are. I don't think there's a holiday you don't like.
Every holiday I'm down for. I want to dress up. I want to celebrate.
We went to our house church Christmas party, and it was a joint Christmas party with one of the other house churches, and I hate to dress up. And her pet peeve is when you don't dress up.
My pet peeve is it's a holiday and you're not dressing up. I'm like, what are you doing?
She texted me. She's like, it's like optional, like Christmas is optional. And if it's optional, I'm definitely not doing it.
I'm definitely doing it.
And she's definitely doing it. And she texts me and I'm like, I know I scratch that itch of your pet peeve every time because my answer is I'm not dressing up. And then she's like, no, it's so frustrating that you don't dress up. And then I did wear a red and brown sweater. So I wore somewhat, it was like somewhat of dressing up, but you are a holiday person. I love that about you. Cause I'm not. So it's perfect that we're just so opposite. And so it was such a good mix. And I need you. You help make me more free.
You help me stop being so psycho. Like, Sarah, chill. It's just Valentine's Day. It's St. Patrick's Day. Calm down. I'm like, where's your green?
Pinching me.
I'm like, I will play.
No, I love that though. And fun. I think just being able to prepare your heart. It's so funny because we are very similar in a lot of ways. Not maybe the dressing up, but I went through 2.25 journals this year. And I do the same thing at the end of every year. I take time and I read the journals. And it's funny because you start off, our minds are so forgetful. And so I was actually spending some time this morning because I have a slower morning on Fridays. And so I was reading through like just some of the things and I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. Like that was not that I'm like mad at myself or punishing myself, but I'm like, it's so interesting that was my mindset then. And then like even 3 months ago.
Like with what? Can you go in?
Yeah, I can go in. I mean, like, I was doing 75 hard. So I would do day 14 out of 75, day 15 out of 75. But I think like, for example, like I went on a few dates with this guy in March and that didn't end up working out. And I was like kind of bummed about that. And then I'm like, now I forget about that now, it's just like so funny. Cause I'm like, I don't remember like grateful, no shade to him at all. He's a great guy. Just like, I was bummed. And now I'm like, literally like so grateful that didn't work out. Yeah. Things like I forgot that I had hurt my knee and I thought it was my 4th knee tear. And it's so wild because I went in, I had a really difficult start to the year. I went through a friendship breakup, I guess you could say. And around the same time during my fast at church, we were fasting. We had a big month-long fast. It's really interesting that God obviously prunes a lot of things out of your life. And so at that time in January, I'd slipped on ice and I hurt my knee. I knew it was torn. I've torn my knee 3 other times. So I know the feeling, I know the sound, I know everything. I know everything.
She said, I know everything. I was literally going to call you out.
Wow.
Okay,
let me get
doctor.
off my high horse for just a second. Holy cow.
About to be like, stop.
Why did I know. I was so.
I know the feeling. I know the sound.
I know everything. I'm a doctor. I'm a surgeon. And I'm a physical therapist. Okay, everybody. I know everything. I definitely had it torn. Oh my gosh. At least I had. You know what the growth is? The awareness.
Yeah, good for you.
I pause. I retract. I take that away.
No, you did. You did before I called you out.
I felt a feeling in my knee that I was pretty scared it was going to be a tear.
You had a wild thought it might be from everything you know,
because I'm clearly an expert.
Yeah. Good for you, girl.
Yeah, just all those years in medical school. Oh my gosh, I'm so ridiculous. Okay, anyways, hurt my knee. Was pretty confident I had torn it, and then went into this fast, and I just I forgot about this until you read about it, and then just what the Lord was doing in that month, like. I really believe the Lord healed me. Like I had people, you prayed over me. I had people like literally lay hands on my knee. And I was terrified because my livelihood is I have to be moving. And then just what I went through and what the Lord put me through and what he taught me. Oh my gosh. And I'm like so grateful now because it hindsight's everything. Yeah. You look back and you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. But in that season between the fasting and the friendship loss and just some of the things that happen there, and then the knee injury, and it was just messy and it's cold here, and you're just like, I just remember feeling like, why? And then there's multiple things throughout this year that I just remember being like, Lord, why? I didn't think it could get harder. Sometime in the summer, I went through a lot of stuff, all at once, and I was like, wow. Okay, once again, how's it going to get harder than this? And then now I'm like hindsight. I'm like, oh, thank you, Lord. Like you're just so good to remember. And if you don't write it down, it's really hard. Like you can remember pieces of it. A lot of people go back in their phone and their photos and they can kind of remember, but I'm like, but write down the words, the emotions. Yeah. And so this journal, one of the journals, it's from January to, I think I finished it in June. And then I started my second one in July and I finished that one I just started the one you gave me a couple weeks ago. So July to November. Yeah. And it's just filled every single day of just prayers and tears and crying out to the Lord in a really difficult season. And so, and then now I'm now being on the other side of it. I'm like, wow, I already forgot.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so powerful to write things down. And if you're not a journaler, it's like anything. It's like, if you don't like to work out, you just start. Yeah. Same thing with journaling. Just start.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, what do we say to people? Like, what would you say to somebody if they're like, well, I haven't journaled at all this year. Like, I'm not a journaler. I don't journal. Like, how do I reflect? What does that look like?
I think just writing down how you feel. And if you don't know, then literally a lot of times, like I've been like this ever since I was like in high school. A lot of times I don't necessarily know exactly how I feel until I start writing. And it's about maybe 10, 15 minutes into writing that I'm like, oh, yeah, this is how I feel. I just wrote it down. Yeah. And so sometimes, like, for example, today, I think I started off, this might be too personal, so I might read it before I read it out loud. But, okay, I wrote, how is Christmas next week? Life has just flown by, but also, wow, what a year it's been. Truly, things have changed so fast. And honestly, I have no idea what will happen.
Wow.
And then I went on to something that I'm not going to share because that's personal, but that's kind of how you start. And like, it doesn't really matter how you start, but it's like, today I'm feeling frustrated, or tonight is da 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 da, or sometimes it's prayers, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just me talking to myself. Sometimes it's processing out loud. But if you've never journaled before, it's just taking a pen to paper and just starting to write.
Yeah.
And something happens, and then you have record of it. And it's so, I think, I guarantee you would say the same thing. My favorite thing about journaling is being able to look back and go and see all the ways the Lord knew far,
100%.
infinitely better and more than I did. Like,
100%, yeah.
again, hindsight. It's so funny. There's a Kelsey Ballerini song called Hindsight is Happiness, but it's like, it's actually such an incredible song because it really is true. Like maybe in the moment, you know, when we're going through stuff, of course we're not understanding it, but you look back and looking back through your journals, you can remember, you take yourself back to where you were in that time. And you're just like, you have this like newfound faith even more because you're like, God knew.
That's good. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I was thinking too, just about, that's a great way to talk about starting how to journal. But I'm like thinking if somebody hasn't journaled, but they're listening and they're like, what do I do? I think one of the best things you can do is like you said, because it takes 15 minutes sometimes for our brains to just calm down and be present. Like even just sitting.
Yeah,
and if you don't have journals to look back on, just sit.
Yeah, that's good.
Sit with the Lord. Sit in your feelings and your thoughts. Like just sit in the car, like with music off, and think like, what has this year been like? And go through the months. January, what happened in January? February, okay. What did I do for Valentine's Day? What did I do in March? What was that like? What was the summer? What trips did I go on?
That's good.
I think even just taking that time to process. But I think outside of that, if you have friends that you're close with, get with them and have a paint party, have a dinner date, have time to just get together, a Zoom call, like whatever Zoom. Do people still Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was good. Okay. That was very like
Zoom
professional
call,
of you.
FaceTime. However people are talking these days on the internet.
On the internet, them kids on the internet.
I literally don't know. I'm like, Snapchat your friends. No, don't delete it if you have it. But like getting together and reminding each other, because it's easy to see. I think it's easier. Maybe this is personal. I think it's easier to see in other people's lives sometimes than it is in our own.
Absolutely,
Do you agree
it
with
is.
that?
I 100%.
Because I'm like, I can look at your life and say, wow, January Kenzie to December Kenzie, you have grown so much in the things you've learned. And the other day we were at a lunch with a couple of our girlfriends, and one girl was talking about something she's struggling with, and you just went in. And I literally was watching you and was like, I have nothing to offer because you are so wise and grounded and firm and strong in your faith. And I just was like, not that you weren't that earlier this year, but just to see how what you were speaking in that moment was confidence and something that you have learned because of what you experienced.
Wow. That's
and I was just
so
like,
kind. Thank you.
This girl knows. And so like, I have seen that in you.
Thank you.
So I think that's the gift of friendship and like getting in groups 100%. To say like, remember this, or like, remember when I dated this one guy earlier this year? We can laugh about it.
Yeah, we can laugh about it now.
All the guys I've dated know.
Ditto.
Great guys.
Great guys.
But yeah, I think that's just something that's sweet that comes with.
Yeah, that's so kind.
Friendship.
Thank you for saying that. I feel the exact same way about you too. It's like, I said this in house church last week because we were talking about 2 weeks ago, but we're talking about, I can't remember exactly what we were talking about, but I had you in mind, and because you weren't there that night, and it was like about trying to think what exactly.
Do I
have ADD? Like,
no,
what's going on?
I have heard stuff like that, like fires off your brain.
Yeah, I think because it literally, I got it. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
Right.
We were talking. Intermission over. So we were talking. We in our group, you know, we're a big group, and then we break up into little small groups. And I had a couple guys in my group, and we were just talking about like big prayers and like you know why. And one of the guys was like, "I just don't pray big prayers." I was like, "Why?" And he had really justified reason. He lost his mom, and he's like, "Well, my biggest prayer was never answered." And so I'm scared to pray big prayers. And I was like, I don't know. I can't imagine. I don't know. I have no words, or advice where I'm going to pretend like I know. And I said, do you guys like share these things with each other? And they're like, no. And it's like really common. Guys just like don't necessarily share these things with each other. Cause as girls, you know, we yap constantly. We're in each other's business. It's the best. And it's just girls. Just chit chatting. And I kind of the Lord just gave it to me. He was just like, and I just was encouraging these guys because it was like, hey, you're robbing each other of witnessing miracles in each other's lives if you don't share. So I understand that you're scared to pray these big prayers, but this isn't just about you. Wow. You know, you good. Having this like, you know, if it's marriage that you want, or this like kick-ass career. Yeah. Kick-ass career. You know, share that. Or like maybe it's something that's really, really personal. And but like if there's guys that you trust and that you walk with in daily life, like share that with them, because when God does deliver, because he always does, whether it's the thing that you want or better, then the people that get to be witnesses and they get to be like, oh God did that for them, then he can do it for me. Or like,
good.
look at, and so that's one of the things that I love about our friendship, about what we do, and being able to just like share with each other, and be able to say, yeah, like the Sarah in January to the Sarah in December is night and day different. And not that Sarah in January was like, she's incredible and she's still incredible. She's just deeper and wiser and more patient, more sure of who she is. Like the bar is set, and strong and firm, and you are concreted in every area of your life now. Like you are ready to whatever God has for you next. And I know that because I've walked with you, you know? Yeah. And so just encouragement, like, yes, it can be vulnerable and it's scary. I'm one of those girls that's like, I used to be like this, like, especially I didn't want to say the thing out loud because the fear of disappointment. If I say it out loud, like, what if this is the guy? Oh, it's not. Dang it. Okay. I said it and I told people about him.
But what
if
it is?
But what if it is? And you want to know every detail. Yeah. And then if it's not,
I can be there to walk with you through it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, the power of just relationships and sharing with each other, because I don't know, like, I think the older you get too, the more you're like, life is really, really short. And I don't know, I would way rather share like the real, and that's just, I guess, also part of my personality. Like I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve, but, it's so fun to talk with your friends about your life and about what you're praying about and what you're hoping for and what you're scared of.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. For us to wrap, hello, what? Before we wrap, I was thinking of a couple questions that would be good to ask into the new year. And if you have any you want to add, you can. But this is something I feel like I do when I'm in a situation. My mentor gave it to me years ago. If there's something that's really hard that I'm going through, but I think this can also translate to just like as you prepare for the new year. The two questions are, what is God saying to me and what am I going to do about it?
So good.
And I think just asking yourself those two questions, what is God saying to me as I prepare for this new year? Is there something that's been on my heart about, I've got to stop doing this. I need to confess this to somebody. I have got to find an accountability partner. I have to like start this business that I know the Lord has put on my heart. Like, what are the things, what is God saying to you? And then what are you going to do about it?
It's so good.
And I think that calls us to really slow down and say, like, what is that gut feeling we have? What is the Holy Spirit in us prompting us that we've maybe been ignoring? And then what are we going to do about it? Like, what are the actual tangible steps as you prepare for the new year of what he is saying and how you're going to go about it?
It's so good. I have nothing to add. That's literally perfect. I would just say those two questions. What is God saying and what are you going to do about it? Because ultimately it's not what we want. And if we act like it's what we want, we're just delaying.
Yeah. Or what about, can I give you a question?
Please give it to me.
Well, it's what you said earlier about making room. So maybe it's something like, maybe another question to add is like, how can I make room for him?
Yeah.
Because that stood out to me when you were talking about that. I'm like, okay, that's good. Even like our church was challenging us at the beginning of the year to read the Bible in a month. And I was like, wow, I was going to
I'm like, did he misspeak? I'm like, in a month?
No, I Googled it. I looked it up. There's a plan. It's a month, but it's like 2 hours a day. But you think about it, I would guarantee most people are on their phone for 2 hours.
100%.
You know what I mean? And so I'm like, if that is, so anyways, just thinking about how can we make room if we want to read our Bible in a month, if we want to read it in the year, if we want to start journaling next year, like how can you make room for him?
Yeah, I love that. So good.
Well, you said it. I just made it a question.
We make a great team.
Teamwork. I'm the party girl. You're the stable one. Okay.
That's hilarious.
I'm kidding. We're a little bit of both.
We are a little bit of both.
All right. Well, we'll see y'all next year. Won't see you to next year.
Won't see you to next year.
2026 we'll be back.
We got to look up what 26 is. Like the
we're all about numbers.
We're numbers girls. Yeah, let's look it up.
All right.
Anywho,
2026. See you then.
And remember,
even if he's still good. Finally got it right on the last day of the year. He still does miracles.
He sure does, baby.